In this video, I'm going to help you write the equation of a line with some given information. And now I have kind of a helpful diagram over here that's going to help us kind of know the progression of how you're going to write the equation of a line depending on what information you're given. So when you need to write an equation, if you are given 2 points, you have to first start by finding the slope of that line. Then the second thing you're going to do is find one of those points. Pick one point that's given to you and plug that information into your point slope form. Because you're only allowed 1 point in this formula, you just need to pick one of the 2 points that you were given. And then also plug in the slope that you just found. After you use point slope form, you can transform that line into slope-intercept form by distributing your slope, this m value, if you distribute your slope, and then if you solve for y, you will get the format of slope and y-intercept form. And then that form can easily be transformed into standard form, which has no fractions and has an a coefficient that is strictly positive. So I'm going to go through kind of my first example set for writing the equation of lines, and I'll have 3 more example videos for you as well. So the first example set has this question. It says, write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So I know I'm looking for this form over here that passes through a point 3, -7, and has a slope of 3/4. Now, the key here is looking at what you're given. I am given 1 point and I am given the slope. And there's a formula that is called point slope form, and that's where we're going to start because I know a point and I know the slope. That's why it's named point slope form. So I'm going to utilize this function and I'm going to plug in what I know. Y minus the y value of my point. So if I do subtract of a -7, this is going to turn into a plus, equal to my slope of 3/4. And then x minus the x value of my coordinate, which is a value of 3. Now, if I am told to find the slope-intercept form, I am looking for this form. And you're going to do that with 2 steps. You need to distribute your slope to your x and to your -3, and then solve for y by subtracting 7. Now, because I have a fraction, this one will be slightly more difficult than if I had a whole number for my slope. Now, if I distribute this 3/4, I'm going to have y plus 7 is equal to 3/4 times x minus 3 times 3, or 9/4. So when you multiply fractions, you multiply straight across, and this would be a fraction 3/1. 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 1 is 4. Now what I want to do is solve for y, and I'm going to do that by subtracting a 7 over to this side. Now, I have a fraction here, 9/4, and if I'm taking a fraction minus a whole number, I need to do what is called create a common denominator so that I actually can subtract. If I have a 4th denominator here, then if I'm subtracting 7, which is really a denominator over 1, I need to turn this number into a common denominator fraction, meaning I need it to have a 4th to combine with my 4th here. Now, if I need this 1 on the bottom to turn into a 4, I need to multiply by 4. So I'm going to multiply 7 by 4 as well. So -7 as a fraction in terms of fourths would be -28/4, because if I divide here, I do get -7. So if I take -9/4 and I subtract the common denominator here, I will get my y-intercept of my function. So y equal to my slope, 3/4 of x, minus, now I have -9, and subtract 28 more, that would be a total of 37/4 for my y-intercept. You could also totally use a calculator for that. Now, for part B, I'm told to write the equation of a line that passes through the 2 points 4, -3, and 2, 6. Now, notice that I'm given 2 points, which means I have to start at the top of this list, which says 2 points. And so first, what I'm going to do is find my slope. So my slope is going to be calculated with my slope formula. My second y value, y2, is 6. Subtract my first y value of -3 over my second x value of 2 minus my first x value of 4. On the top, I will turn my minus and negative into an add, which means I have a fraction of 9 over negative 2 for my slope. Now, I have 2 points, and the next progression here in our chart is to pick one of those points and use point slope formula. Now, I'm going to identify which point I'm going to use, and I'm going to use this point here, 2, 6, just because it has both positives and no negatives, so that will just be a little bit easier for me, but it does not matter which point you pick. Either will get you the correct answer. So now in point slope form, y minus the y value of 6 will equal my slope, negative 9 over 2, and then in parentheses, x minus my x value of my point of 2. Now again, just like I did up above, I'm going to distribute my slope, and I will have y minus 6 is equal to negative 9 halves x plus, now 9 times 2 divided by 2, the times 2 and divided by 2 is going to cancel out, and I'm left with 9. A lot nicer than having a fraction like I had before. Now to get my slope-intercept form, all I need to do is add 6 to the right side. So I have y equals negative 9 over 2x and plus 15.